Hey, we made it through Foundation Season 1. Was it worth it? Yeah, I think so, but let's talk Foundation. Hey everyone, this is David Stark from Watcher Pass, and we made it. It's the end of Foundation Season 1. This is Season 1, Episode 10, The Leap, which is premiering on Apple TV Plus on November 19th, 2021. It's the conclusion of the first season of Foundation. And although it does leave us with a lot of questions, I think overall, I liked the episode. I think I didn't like it as much as Episode 9. I thought Episode 9 was really good. That was kind of my return to Foundation. This one was good. It had some issues, some of the similar issues that we've had throughout the season, but overall, there were some really, really good moments, some really amazing moments, mostly on the Empire side. So if you haven't seen the episode already, go ahead and watch it. It's on Apple TV Plus now. It's like about an hour long. It's kind of standard Foundation time. And then come back and let's talk some more. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Love to hear what you thought about the season, and speculation for next season would be great as well. So let's get right into it. So in this episode, you have some of the backlash of the whole Brother Dawn DNA tampering and kidnapping plot, and then you also have the evolution of of Foundation itself, of the factions that are warring over Foundation, and then kind of what their role is going to be. It also seems to set up a lot of the plot for next season. You've got some issues with the Empire, you've got some issues with Salvor, and also with what the Foundation is going to end up doing. And you also have a new kind of leader emerge, I guess, although he emerges very briefly. So let's talk about this episode. There will be spoilers. I'm going to talk about things that happen in the episode. So if you don't want to know what happens, and there are some very, very good plot twists in this episode. If you don't want to know what happens, go ahead and go watch it now because there will be spoilers. So things I liked about this episode. The first thing is Brother Day. And if you've been watching, if you've been following along, I'm a giant Lee Pace fan, and he really showcases his stuff in this episode, especially with his interaction with Azura. That was the scene when I was not really enjoying the episode as much, as you'll see in the things I didn't like. And then when that scene happened, I was like, oh, this is good. Like, it was so well delivered. Like, Lee Pace starts off kind of caring and seeming to want to get to the bottom, and then he just turns ice cold, and that revenge was pretty insane. So I really liked that. I thought that was a kind of nice showcase for how brutal the Empire is going to be. I mean, we know that they do brutal things. We saw that with destroying half of a planet, and then also killing Zephyr Halima. But this also just felt very personal and very, very cold, which and Lee Pace delivered it perfectly. The second thing I loved are the Cleon twists, and I also loved the Cleon twist. No, not that twist specifically, but also, yes, that twist. The main twist where we find out that it's not just Brother Dawn whose DNA has been modified, it's also Brother Day. That was a big shock to me, and maybe you all guessed that, but I was a little surprised, and I'm surprised it hasn't manifested earlier. I guess maybe we're supposed to take the fact that he wanted to spare his brother as showing that he's different from the other Cleons, and then maybe the whole spiral encounter was a showing that he was a little different. Now that was an interesting revelation, I'm curious to see where that goes and what consequences it's going to have down the road, because Brother Day is kind of the one who's in charge, as we saw when Brother Dawn requested Brother Day judge him. But now that he is, I don't know, tainted, whatever you want to call it, this will be an interesting season in season 2. And then there was the twist, the actual Cleon twist, where Demerzel kills Brother Day. I thought that was pretty shocking. I didn't expect that, but I thought that there was another good kind of showcase. It seems like this episode does a lot to kind of showcase just how brutal the Empire is, and I know we've known that they are brutal, but this episode seems to amplify that and make it very personal with some of the things that they do. I also like that. I liked Brother Dawn. I liked his character. So I was a little sad that he is now gone. But hey, I'm sure a new clone will take his place, and we'll have a Brother Dawn. Although I don't know, he might not be as interesting as this Brother Dawn. And the last thing I really loved is the Salvor leaving scene. Salvor is another one of my favorite characters. It kind of has to be. She's a pretty great character in this series. But when she left Foundation to go seek out Gale, I thought that was a really well done scene. It really gave Lee Harvey a chance to kind of really stretch her dramatic chops. It was a pretty emotional scene, and also kind of showcased just how much is put on Salvor. I mean, she's always been kind of thrust into this leadership role, but now the choice that she has to make to go seek out Gale and essentially kind of leave this entire life behind forever was a pretty difficult one. I thought that scene encapsulated that pretty well. Things I did not love. The first is just how quickly the Outer Reach unites. I mean, you've got 3 warring factions. They're all pretty bitter enemies. They've been fighting for so long they don't even really remember what it started it. And literally, one of them, the Anacreans, had just massacred the Foundation settlers, and so all of a sudden they come together because Harry Seldon says, like, you have to unite. Like, that seemed a little too convenient. I liked. I mean, I like the Harry's back, although I don't love his new projection. I guess he's kind of back, but also kind of a hologram, because when that person pushed him, like, it was some sort of projection of some sort. But it did feel very convenient that all of a sudden they're like, oh, he says we should work together. I guess we're all going to work together. And then they start to build something. I would have expected a little bit more of a bumpy road, maybe a little bit more distrust. So, maybe we'll see that in the next season. Maybe there will be some cracks, although I don't really know if we'll see much of that in the next season, but we'll find out. The second thing you kind of need it for this next season because they're really setting it up as a plot, but like Salvor finding Gale, like that seemed like a 1 in a million type of shot. I guess maybe Salvor used her kind of intuition that she has where she can kind of predict what's happening and her visions to figure out where Gale's going to go. But the fact that they kind of ended up on the same planet in the same space of water seemed very, very lucky. But again, I guess, it wouldn't be much of a show if they didn't end up together, because I think that's going to be a major plot point in season 2. Also, like, Hugo becoming captain of the Invictus, I don't know, that also seemed very weird, because didn't we just establish in when Hugo's ship was transferred to Salvor how difficult that is, and you have to have like actual authorization of the captain? I guess maybe in the Invictus all the captains were dead. I don't really remember if there is a protocol for that, but the fact that he then became like captain of this Imperial class warship that is, the pride of the Empire, he was just able to kind of become the captain. It felt a little too convenient, although as we saw in earlier episodes, the Invictus doesn't really have great security, so maybe it's really easy. Maybe he just had to pull out a panel, like type his name in and put the panel back in, and now he's the captain. Again, that felt a little too convenient. Essentially, things I liked: Empire and the ruthlessness. Things I didn't like: Foundation and how easy some of the stuff or how convenient they made some of the stuff to move the story along. There we go. And the last thing, it's kind of a double-edged sword. I liked and didn't like. You're kind of left with more questions at the end of this. I know they're setting up season 2, so they kind of have to leave with a few questions. I didn't really think it was a very fulfilling ending, even though there were things I really loved about this episode. And the fact that it kind of leaves you with a big question, I know that that's how you get people to then watch season 2, but I really wish we would have had a little bit more of a substantial ending to this season to kind of cap everything off. That being said, this was a pretty good episode. There were things I really loved about it. And overall, when I look back on Foundation, kind of the season, it's a very different show. It's something that I wasn't really expecting to like, and I do like it. I like a lot of the characters. I like the conflicts that are brewing, and I'm excited to see where season 2 goes. So overall, I don't think this was as good as episode 9, but it's definitely better than like 6 through 8. And not as good as the first couple episodes, but taken as a whole, I like this season. I like the characters. I'm curious where it's going to go. I don't love that we have a lot of questions, but hey, you know what? That just means I'm going to watch season 2. And I assume you all are going to watch season 2 as well. So thanks so much for watching. Thanks for watching this entire season. And if you liked this review, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps me out a lot. Make sure all my new content goes straight to you. And let me know what you thought in the comments. I'd love to talk and speculate about what's going to happen. And thanks so much. It's been a fun ride, and I look forward to seeing you in season 2.